We're in a weird situation right now where, you have the great resignation going on. You can probably technically say that we're in a recession by the literal definition. You're in a weird marketplace. Now you have all the major tech companies laying people off. I mean, Amazon just a few days ago started doing layoffs. I think it was the first time ever they've done mass layoffs of this quantity. And you're in a weird market. A lot of businesses are still work from home. How do you manage, relationships with your boss, or if you're the boss, with your employees, to keep that bond strong so you can try to avoid either them joining the great resignation or, having to lay people off?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you hit on all of them, work from anywhere, tech companies that overhired and over-indexed toward the internet. Actually, I think the acceleration of what happened with e-com during the pandemic, caused people to overhire, and so it's created a lot of dynamics, David, between what people tend to say the employee and the company. And I think going forward, both remote work from anywhere or in office, what's really, really important is that words matter, and we have to recognize that words matter and labels matter. And so moving away from the word employee, and Protis Global, we talk about team members, and we refer to people as individuals versus employees. And just those small, subtle dynamics, and there's a lot of things I can talk to you about relative to that. But those subtle dynamics and those words and that labeling starts to show people that, you do listen. They are people, and you're now connecting with people in a different way versus old school employee.
Right. You bring that up, and my father would probably get mad at me, but for a few years I did work and help his business. And, he kept referring to his employees, his team members, as the help. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, it's 2004. You shouldn't do that anymore. Stop calling them the help. That's disrespectful. It's really minimizing them. And, at least use employees, minimal, or team, or, even myself. I don't view very often that I call my employees. I call them, my team members, my team, stuff like that. I find myself using that verbiage too, because even the word employee, it's kind of minimizing in a way. And if you think about it, like a lot of companies for, I don't know, 10 plus years have started changing the way that they label, employees. Instead of the word employee, what does Starbucks use for their employees? I can't think of it right now, but they don't,
They use associates,
right. Things like that. It's a word that is slowly, I think it's moving out of the common language, and it's usually only talked about in a formal sense anymore.
Well, I think what's really happened is, organically, we were shifting toward a different, what I would call work structure anyhow, David. What happened in 2020 in the last couple of years up until this point has really, really accelerated what was going to happen over the next 8 to 10 years. And
hold on a second. What happened in 2020?
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know what people call that thing. I try not to say it. I try not to even say it.
You try not to say the C word. There you go.
Exactly. And, but the power has started to shift, and it shifted toward the individual from companies. And what's happening in the last 6 to 8 months is you're starting to see it shift a little bit back toward the companies. And I think we're at a really, really healthy balance ratio between the individuals and the companies. And I think the leaders that get it, and the ones that are very clear and bring clarity with their team members and the individuals and talent that's in their organizations, that they bring clarity to the mission and the North Star of an organization, and that and that demonstrate that engagement is the real currency, if you will, for lack of a better term, in the new world of work. For those that get that, they're going to have a distinct advantage versus those that still call people employees or the help. Or not only that, but in addition to that, not bringing people into the circle by showing them what the mission of the organization and drawing clarity, because people today want to be part of something, want to be a purpose.